So here we go, 2-second lean tour number 32, 29th of October 2019. Say hi,
Paul.
Hey. Wade and Kay.
Oh, I like your whole setup you've got.
All right. Curious about that mic.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
Richard.
Caroline.
Hello. Hi, it's Marcus. Hey, Javier.
So here is our itinerary for the first day. While on the bus, Paul gave us an ongoing narrative, which I'll put in my final video set. But the key thing he asked us to do was to have big eyes, big ears, and a small mouth. There'll be 19 opportunities to learn on this trip, and if we didn't look and think, we would not see. Here's beautiful Japan, the South Island, and you'll see those through my video. So our first journey, northbound, took us to our first company, Kyushu Steel. What an amazing company to see for our first time. They take large steel reels and they slit it down into thinner reels. We saw a really interesting crane system with a set of and-on lights at the top that gave us different information, power, whether it was clamped, etc. But the really interesting thing is they'd built their own system, so the crane knew if it was in the correct location for the correct steel, pokey oak design. So here you can see their supplier right next door, the very large steel mill that made the large reels, and passed it straight through a door into their own supply stores. So the main aim of this visit was to see SMED, single minute exchange of dies, and here you can see the robots preparing the new slitting mandrels. And this is the process starting. So the machine runs out the steel. Currently I'm running this at twice speed, so not to take too long. And when the steel has passed through, as it's still moving towards the end of the machine, the mandrels, which will slit the next one, the old ones are removed and the new ones are put in place. This whole process is automated. As you can see, there was a significant capital investment in this equipment, which they put in place over 10 years ago, and I'll talk about that in my summary at the end. So the new mandrels are now put in place, and as that is happening in sequence, the material is now being fed through, ready for slitting. The mandrels have now been removed behind us, and already the robots are starting to disassemble the old mandrel and turn into the new ones. The material is then initially slit and is paused, and then they check everything. Quality was phenomenal. They're always checking, always ensuring that quality is 100% perfect. The amount of quality checking we saw in the entire tour, which I'll bring up many times, was just outstanding. And the machine is ready to go. Final inspection, and the machine is now running and starting work cutting the next reel. Phenomenal. Talking to the management team, we found out they do 3 to 4 changes per hour. What was also fascinating to find out, since 2008 they had 13 people, and in 2019 they had 15 people, yet they doubled the production. And it wasn't due to new equipment, they already had that equipment in place. What they've been using is small continuous improvement systems in order to increase productivity. Double the productivity in less than 10 years with only 2 people added to the whole business. It's my learnings from Kyushu Steel. So much waste. Even though they've bought and invested a huge amount of money in technology many years ago, there's still so much waste in it that they could continuously improve the setup or the SMED of the process. The Keiretsu. The Keiretsu is a system in Japan where suppliers and customers own the company. So they're not chasing huge profits, they're not chasing and trying to outdo each other. Because they have investments in their suppliers, they're there to help them grow and to invest. And the crucial thing that gives us is the ability to invest in the future. Single minute exchange of dies. What a fantastic process. Could really see the internals and externals and how they'd automated the process, but how they'd continuously improved it even though they'd got so much high automation. And return on investment. We asked the MD how he recorded the return on investment on the technology they had done. He didn't understand the question, and eventually he said, we don't measure return on investment. If it's the right thing for our people in terms of health and safety, if it's the right thing in terms of quality for our customers, the right things for our future, we just invest. Wow, blew me away. So we carried on our journey. We popped around the corner, about a 20-minute drive, and we stopped for lunch at Kura Sushi. What a really fun little place this was. There's a digital menu that you select your food on, which was in English. It can be brilliant. There was a conveyor belt of food, so you can select the food you wanted to eat by looking at it. And the food that was selected on the digital menu came on a fast conveyor belt above the other conveyor belt. And when you'd finished, you put the plates through a slot and it counts it all up and automatically prepares the bill for you. What a great fun place to have lunch. Really enjoyed it. 20 people were fed in less than 25 minutes, all in and out. And the real way that that showed us was elimination of waste. This restaurant had taken the idea of removing all the non-wasteful activity their people do, could add value whenever they needed to, rather than just spend time delivering drinks, delivering products, etc. to your table. Really good fun. And then back on the bus and a short journey to what was probably the highlight of day one and also the tour itself. The trip to the elementary school where we saw the children being taught the respect for the environment and society. The following are pictures from the internet as we were not allowed to take any pictures in the school. So first we saw how the children were taught about the nutritional value of their food at the beginning of every meal. Then we saw the children handing out food to each other. And if a child didn't want all the food that they wanted on that particular plate, they would take it back to the teacher, talk about it, and then put some of the original food before starting back in the dish. When lunch was over, all the children tidied up, and key monitors would wipe the tables and make sure all the chairs were put away totally. The really amazing thing was there was no food wastage at all. Stunning. And then what happened next blew my mind. After about 20 minutes play, the children all gather together and then start to clean. They clean their classrooms, they clean their toilets, they sweep the hallways, they dust, they mop the floors, they pick dirt out of carpets using pieces of tape. It was absolutely amazing to watch. The children were happy, excited and fun, and they were working in groups. The really interesting thing where older children and smaller children worked together to make the solution of how they were going to clean alongside their teachers. So my learnings from the school. Children have been cleaning in Japanese schools for about 400 years, so we're told, and they're taught not just how to clean but also how to have respect in society. And you can see that in my previous videos about Japan, where the society's clean and tidy and organised. Really, really amazing. We saw a Hansei where school children reflect and review of what went well, and we saw one little boy who actually apologised for turning up late and said that he would make it up tomorrow by arriving early. They also the team leaders thanked everybody for their hard work, and they discussed ideas of how to clean the area because they were working in a new area that day. It was just simply beautiful to see. So we drove further around the South Island and headed to the next stop, which was Toto. Toto is an amazing company that builds toilets and bathroom equipment. We were not allowed to take pictures on site, so these are pictures taken directly from their website. So this factory made the porcelain toilet bowls. So after material preparation, they're cast in an automated machines, and then they get passed down a conveyor belt which was levelled through using Hijunka type flow, to assembly, where two operators put the parts together to make the different chambers. Then went to drying and inspection, where further people checked to make sure the product was perfect. It went on to glazing, and then into firing. The glazing process is automated through robots, and the firing is a huge football length pitch continuous flow oven. Finally, it goes to inspection, where the detail of the product is checked, and then through to assembly and packing. A very automated continuous flow process where everything was brought to the operator. So my learnings from Toto. Flow increases productivity. You could really see how the elimination of waste for operators by bringing the work and flowing it to them massively increases productivity. We saw a total of 16 people across the whole plant delivering thousands of toilet bowls every single day. When you release people from the mundane of moving work and bring the work to them, then they can focus on the artistry of the manual work itself. What we saw was some amazing layouts in terms of the cellular design, where everything was at hand. We saw the inspection cell where an operator was working in flow. His mind was so focused on the work, he only had to put his hand to where the jigs and fixtures were that he needed to inspect. And inspection was just phenomenal. And the last thing was really interesting, that even though they've replaced a lot of the glazing by robots, they were still teaching people how to spray, because it's important to keep the skill capable within the business so they can automate again in the future. Brilliant. And then carried on round the island to Beppu. We went into a Buddhist temple where we met the monk, Mr. Matsumoto, who wrote A Monk's Guide to a Clean House and Clean Mind. The monk's talk about Buddhism told us about the awakened one, the one who has solved one's own pain, fear and suffering. It is a path that anyone can follow to find enlightenment. He also talked about ambient Buddhism, the environment around you that gives you the chance to find the power of Buddha within, and by keeping good routines and good habits. He created a phrase called ambient Buddhism, which is about creating the environment that this can take place in. Having a good diet, using good words, having hot springs to relax the mind and body, cleaning to remove dust and impurities and make you think, the community with the joy of people, gardening and prayers and practice for daily renewal. So what he was talking about was fundamental management principles. Every leader in a business should remove pain, i.e. improve health and safety, remove fear, i.e. improve quality by people owning up and learning from mistakes, and reduce suffering by making work easier by eliminating muda and waste in the company. So the leader's role is to create the environment, using correct words to motivate and encourage people, finding places to relax, cleaning, being humble, cleaning the toilet, 3S everywhere, creating the community for people to feel safe, bringing the outside world in terms of gardening, and introducing the dojo and daily practice. And then on to our onsen hotel. And here we put on our traditional robes that you wear to the onsen, which is the hot baths. And we had a meal together, a fabulous Japanese meal. Cheers everybody. What a fantastic day. And then it was off to the onsen itself, washing ourselves properly first, before stepping into a beautiful natural hot spring bath, hot water surrounding your body, where you talk and chat about the things that we've learnt and done. These are pictures from the internet. So, first day done. What an amazing day. My key learnings. Children cleaning the school just blew me away. What a way to create and help nurture an amazing society. The long-term investment. We don't think about return on investment. If it's the right thing to do, it's the right thing to do. Huge amounts of flow, making things flow to remove costs from a process, making it really efficient for people to become focused on the artistry of work. Some fundamental management principles that we learnt from To Be Buddha. An amazing relaxation time that you can have in a beautiful hot bath.